Drop of the Blood. I will never forget how Drop of the Blood, the chorus came to me. I was driving with a friend and my wife, and we were driving to West Virginia. We were driving from Charlotte, Carolina, North Carolina to West Virginia. And driving through the mountains as we're coming close to West Virginia, you know, because down Charlotte the weather was warmer. It was around this time, really, in America. And I was just sitting in the back of the car and had the headphones, and that beat was going on. So I guess I was just looking at all the farms, you know, because as you come up towards the hills, the farms. It's funny with America. My first experience of farms in America was Minnesota, and there was like some huge things that why huge, you know. The tractors are huge, the distances are huge, and it's just flat. Just that was Minnesota, right? Way back. But now, as we're going in towards West Virginia, it's still farmland that I'm seeing, but I'm seeing smaller farms, you know, like in New Hampshire. And I think that had to do with the ride, the farms, the thought of the people living on those farms and everything, and just this general feeling of like, you know, God loves everybody, and God is gonna protect everybody, you know. So the idea of that the wicked could never hurt anything that is protected by just one drop of the blood of Christ. You know, so that was the idea of it. And obviously, as we go, then the wicked cannot conquer one drop of the blood. That's how strong the blood really is. And we had stopped along the way to get some food, and we stood in in line trying to get some food, and so there were some other travelers, you know, and because of the vibes and everything, people kind of like come close to I and always want to talk to me, and so the dreadlocks, it pulled people, so it was some white farmers type, you know, and they started talking to me about reggae music, and so it was just really random, and they lived in the area, you know, and I'd been looking at these farms, and we'd stop for some food, and then we had a talk and everything, and oh my God, yeah, I remember um, they just heard me talking to my wife about donuts, you know, and the guy said he was gonna sponsor not donuts, what do you call it, chocolate chip cookies, because I'm like, he's smoking, he's smoking. I mean, you smoke, man. You got like cookies. So I was on it, and they kind of like caught on to that, you know. So it was a bit of a joke, and they said, "Oh man, yeah, we'll get you the cookies." You know, the strangers, you know, in America. You know, I love Americans, man. I love people, and so that's kind of like when I got back in the car and we're driving, and I'm looking at farms again. I was thinking about the love of God, and I was thinking, you know, it's Christ really, you know, because I've got to think why those people want to come close to me and feel good when they see me, and the dreadlocks attracts all of that. You know that it's not me. It's and so I had to deal with that, and then I say, wow, even one little drop of blood, you know, the wicked cannot conquer. So no matter how much wickedness there is in the world, the people will still find a way to live and to overcome wickedness. So I put in the context of that, and then obviously I touch on slavery, and from the hill to the mountain top, like, yeah. So that was the song as in itself, right? The verses, the first verse though is different. The first verse, and this is something that's gonna shock Robert because he does not know that the first opening lines in that song are about him. Yeah. It was at some point Robert got tired of me not delivering, right? And so I'm like, okay. So we're on Facebook and we're talking, and he says, listen, man, those tracks they're good. But I'm just trying to tell you that, man, it's been a while, you know. Look at the year, and I know some other singers who could make use of those tracks. So won't you deliver something? Luckily for me, a couple of days before he got into this mode, I had recorded a couple of things because it was on my mind that Robert could easily give these tracks to somebody else. So I did record something. So while we're talking on Facebook, says, no, I've done some. You want to hear it? And I don't think he believed me, right? I don't think he believed me. And he goes like, yeah, send them. And I said, all right, dude. So within minutes, I sent him 3 or 4 tracks, and then he backed off. He says, yeah, 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 I hear it. It sounds good. Yeah, it's true. You are working on it because he sees me on Facebook writing about this and writing about that. I'm trying to make this whole movement. When you see the website, you'll see what that's all about. Like, why was I everywhere? Like, I'm not on Facebook anymore. I mean, I still have my account, but I'm not posting on Facebook anymore like I used to because that was a process. I'll talk about that later. And so he was probably thinking that, hey, this man's just on Facebook and he ain't doing nothing about the tracks, so. And so it's while I was thinking about that whole episode with him backing down and saying, hey, yeah, it's cool. That's where the whole first line says, be careful what you ask for. What brought you to my door? You know? Like, why you send me the tracks in the first place, bro? So be careful what you ask for. What brought you to my door? And that's where the that comes from, that line, because I was going through it. I was I find the best way to write songs is to go off of the feelings that the immediate feelings that you have. All conversations lead to the same thing. If you're based in love and truth and honesty, you can tackle any situation. You can be honest about any situation, and it'll end up being a beautiful narration of anything because you have the foundation, which is love, and you have the honesty, and you just put those two things together, and it works. So, drop of the blood, and knowing what Robert is about, uh, rights for black people and justice and all of that. So I said, all right, man, I'll give you a track that's just down your alley. And when when I sent him Drop of the Blood, and the lyrics is like, I just said, fire, fire, fire. I said, Drop of the Blood, Drop of the Blood. I said, yeah, you don't know I wrote it off your head. That's why you like it.